Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Ben Thompson and Sally Nugent.
Good morning. Our headlines for you at 6. 2 doses of the main COVID vaccines used in the UK are found to be highly effective against the Indian variant of the virus.
Former BBC journalist Martin Bashir defends his panorama interview with Princess Diana but apologises to Princes William and Harry.
Frustration for the organisers of the Glastonbury Festival as technical problems stop fans from watching a special online concert.
0 points.
And nil point for Great Britain at Eurovision as Italy wins the big prize.
Good morning. Phil Mickelson's eyeing a very different prize. He stands on the verge of golfing history. He leads heading into the final round of the PGA Championship and at the age of 50 could become the sport's oldest major winner.
Good morning. It's a chilly and bright start to the day for much of the UK. We will see some rain moving in from the west later on. Some eastern areas keeping dry all day. I'll have all the details for you here on Breakfast.
Good morning. It is Sunday the 23rd of May. Our top story today. Both the Pfizer and AstraZeneca coronavirus vaccines, the 2 main jabs that are used in the UK's rollout, are highly effective against the Indian variant of the disease. That's according to a study by Public Health England.
The Health Secretary, Matt Hancock, described the findings as groundbreaking and said he was increasingly confident the government is on track for the final stage of its roadmap out of lockdown. Here's our health correspondent, Jim Reid.
Back up a little bit more there, fella, if you will.
In places like Rochdale in Greater Manchester, vaccinations are now being offered to younger age groups. All those over 18 could get a jab with no appointment needed.
Quite eager to come and get it done because once the first one's out the way, it's out the way, and it's easier to just get it done while it's offered to go get it done than waiting for an appointment to be scheduled.
I think it is very important just to keep yourself safe, but also helping other people stay safe as well. So I think it's really important, for everyone to do it.
Scientists think the so-called Indian variant of the virus can spread more quickly. So areas like this, where cases are growing, are being offered extra surge vaccinations. And the first real-world data shows how important that could be. An early study has found 1 dose of either the Pfizer or AstraZeneca jab was 33% effective at stopping infection from the Indian variant. It worked better against the older Kent strain. But a second dose boosted that protection, narrowing the gap almost completely and bringing it in line with its effect against the more widespread Kent variant.
The second dose boosts your immune system, makes it more effective at a wider range of variants of SARS-CoV-2 that are circulating. And that's why we're asking people to come forward for their second dose at 8 weeks.
That lower figure for the AstraZeneca jab in the study may well be revised up later, as scientists say that vaccine takes longer to build up its protection. Right now, the research can only tell us about COVID infections. It's thought both jabs should offer even stronger protection against any severe disease and death caused by the Indian variant.
We all know that the way out of this pandemic is the vaccine, and this data show that that is not changed, that is the right strategy, but it makes it even more important for everybody to get the second jab.
Overall then, this study makes for reassuring reading. It's the strongest evidence yet that vaccines can beat new variants of the virus, but it suggests that second dose could be key as society heads back towards normality. Jim Reid, BBC News.
The former BBC journalist Martin Bashir has defended his controversial panorama interview with Princess Diana in 1995 and rejected suggestions that his actions were ultimately responsible for her death 2 years later.
In an interview with the Sunday Times, he admitted that he was wrong to have forged bank statements to obtain the interview, but insists it had no bearing on subsequent events. James Reynolds reports.
The Dyson report found that Martin Bashir commissioned false bank statements in order to secure his interview with Diana, Princess of Wales. Mr Bashir, who recently resigned from the BBC on health grounds, has now told the Sunday Times that he's deeply sorry to Princes William and Harry. But he rejected the Duke of Cambridge's claim that he fueled Diana's paranoia. "I never wanted to harm Diana in any way, and I don't believe we did," he said. "I don't feel I can be held responsible for many of the other things that were going on in her life. and the complex issues surrounding those decisions. Tony Hall, Mr. Bashir's BBC boss at the time of the 1995 interview, led an internal inquiry soon afterwards, which found the journalist to be honest and honourable. But the Dyson report said that this inquiry was woefully ineffective. As a result, Lord Hall, who left the BBC as Director General in 2020, has now stepped down as the chairman of the National Gallery. In a statement, he said, "I've always had a strong sense of public service, and it's clear my continuing in the role would be a distraction to an institution I care deeply about. As I said 2 days ago," he went on, "I'm very sorry for the events of 25 years ago, and I believe leadership means taking responsibility." Diana's brother Earl Spencer has asked the Metropolitan Police to look again at the circumstances of her interview with Martin Bashir. Scotland Yard says it's looking at the Dyson investigation to see if there's any significant new evidence to support a criminal investigation. The current Director General of the BBC, Tim Davie, says that the scandal leaves the corporation with much to reflect on. And the government is carrying out an existing review into public broadcasting in Britain. James Reynolds, BBC News.
A volcanic eruption in the Democratic Republic of Congo has sent thousands of panic-stricken residents fleeing from their homes, many of them on foot. Fountains of lava burst into the night sky from Mount Nyiragongo and flowed towards the city of Goma. The government has urged people to evacuate, and officials said around 3,000 people had already crossed the border with Rwanda last night.
The organisers of the Glastonbury Festival have apologised after thousands of people who bought tickets for a live stream concert were unable to view the show for more than 2 hours.
The ticketing system was eventually abandoned altogether and made the concert free for anyone to watch, as Colin Patterson reports.
When Glastonbury is disrupted, it's usually by rain and mud. Last night the problem was internet connectivity. Live at Worthy Farm was a 5-hour live stream to raise money for the festival. But when it started at 7 o'clock, people who paid £20 to watch pre-recorded sets by the likes of Coldplay and Damon Albarn were told that their access codes were invalid. As the minutes ticked by, fans said they were giving up and watching recordings of old Glastonburys or even switching on Eurovision.
This is the grand final of the Eurovision Song Contest 2021.
Almost 2 hours passed before it was announced that a new link had been created and anyone could watch the event for free, whether they bought a ticket or not. Glastonbury boss Emily Eavis has apologised and the whole thing will be rerun online today. Colin Patterson, BBC News.
Staying with music, but of a different kind, Italy triumphed at this year's Eurovision Song Contest in the Netherlands last night.
And it was a bad year once again for the UK, as James Newman was the only act to end the night with nul point from both the national juries. And from the public too. Can you believe that?
And, yeah, I can believe it actually. Anna Holligan was watching in Rotterdam.
Måneskin, the Italian rockers, won the audience over with their catchy anthem, quiet and good. It's 31 years since the Italians last tasted victory at the world's biggest televised singing competition.
We're so honoured and happy, and we really want to thank everyone who supported us. This is unbelievable. We really didn't expect it, and we're so happy, yeah.
From the winners to James Newman, who secured his place in history with nul point. For the first time in a long time, the fans were allowed to remove their face masks and forget about social distancing inside, to sing and dance along to a quintessentially Eurovision range. Watching the contest in the stadium or on screen, Eurovision's taste of togetherness offered some escapism from the virus that's dominated our lives for so long. Many hope the way in which this event has been made possible could help to make live entertainment a reality around the world again. Anna Holligan, BBC News, Rotterdam.
Well, let's speak to the BBC's Steve Holden, who watched the night unfold in Rotterdam. Steve, morning to you. Look, a very disappointing night once again for the UK's entry, wasn't it?
Morning, yes, the dreaded nil point. James Newman got 0 points from both the national juries and the public. It's the second time this has happened to the UK in the contest's 65-year history. It last happened in 2003. And inevitably, the teams behind the song, and that includes the BBC, will now look at what went wrong. Was it the song itself? Was it the performance? What didn't connect? Others will say it's all political, isn't it? But the truth is, after a 2-year break, the contest, the countries really brought their A game, and the song selection, the standard of song was so high. I will say about James Newman though, because I've spent a lot of time with him filming a documentary in the months in the run-up to Eurovision, is he fully embraced this contest. He knew what it stood for, what it meant, didn't want to pass up on the opportunity to sing in front of 180 million people. It's just a shame that it didn't go to plan.
And so all that said, given the debate about, what we enter, what sort of song we submit, who is the act that goes, every time we end up with a poor score, there's all this debate and we still don't get it right. Why was Italy so good?
Italy won for 2 simple reasons. It looked good and it sounded good. Måneskin, the rock band from Rome who won, gave an assured, confident performance. They told people in the run-up to the contest they don't see it as Eurovision, they just see it as another big gig. And also, it looked great. Brilliant staging. They brought their country's entire supply of pyrotechnics for this huge, fiery finish.
Maybe that's the trick, Steve, a fiery finish. That's what we need next year. For now, thank you. Nice to talk to you, Steve Holden, there in Rotterdam.
See the headlines as they happen and watch BBC News live in the app and get the full story with bbc.co.uk/news. Follow the story for all the latest with BBC News.